Iran is defenseless, and they're not going to be able to retaliate successfully because their leadership is being picked off one by one. Over 200 aircraft went into Iranian airspace, and not one of them was shot down. There are some reports that the Iranians managed to shoot down a couple of drones, but that's it, because Iran has had their air defenses slowly taken out for well over 1 year. Iran relies heavily on the Russian S-300 missile system for air defense, but in April and October of 2024, the vast bulk of those systems were taken out, along with the equipment used to make solid fuel for ballistic missiles. And the vast bulk of the aircraft used in yesterday's strike against Iran were F-35 Lightnings, which are highly stealthy, and the S-300 system has a great deal of difficulty pinpointing these bad boys. And that is why the top nuclear scientists and IRGC military brass were taken out very easily yesterday. Iran won't be able to retaliate effectively, not just because of this loss of leadership, but because they've already been so heavily infiltrated. A drone base was set up in Iran just to take out Iran's missile infrastructure when they did decide to retaliate. And despite the massive scale of damage that was done within the capital of Iran, their only source of retaliation was 100 drones. Now, not only were all of these drones shot down and prevented from making any successful strike, they were done with the help of other Arab states, including Saudi Arabia and Jordan. Both of these countries condemned the initial attack very vocally, yet they still offered assistance to shoot down Iran's only method of retaliation. The only real support that Iran is going to have from the other Arab states will be thoughts and prayers. But that's it. Now, as a result of the successful strikes deep into Iranian territory, especially with their nuclear research facilities, it looks like they're going to be moving the vast bulk of this underground. Now, the Iranian government has already made it very clear that they are going to retaliate and they are going to accelerate their development of their nuclear program, but we don't really know how much of it they have left. They definitely have a great deal of knowledge, but we don't know what resources are at their disposal to finish all of this off. And this is where the types of bomb we call bunker busters come into play. Right now, the country that is responsible for the attack against Iran can only set bombs that can go 8 to 10 meters underground. Anything further than that, the research facility would remain unscathed. But there are bunker busting bombs that can go much deeper and cause a lot more destruction, like the GBU-57A, that can go 60 to 70 meters underground and destroy everything there. These bad boys weigh about 30,000 pounds, and the United States will not allow any other country to have them. Not only are the bombs the sole purview of the United States, but so is the only plane that can drop them, which is the B-2 Spirit bomber. The United States does not like Iran, and even though they do support the country that attacked Iran, even that country is not allowed to have access to this magnitude of weaponry because we all know it would be used excessively. Now, while I think it's unlikely that any other country will have access to this type of ordnance, there's something we have to pay attention to. This most recent attack against Iran is not going to be a one-time thing. This is going to be part of a prolonged campaign unless some kind of deal can be struck as to Iran's research and usage of nuclear material. The American president has made it very clear that they have had no involvement in this attack against Iran, but our president has made the threat that a deal has to happen before there is nothing left. Now, what does the American president mean by nothing left? Is he talking about nothing left of this current regime, nothing left of the capital, or nothing left of this deal to scrape up? Now, what course of action can Iran take right now? And to be honest, I don't know. It's been made very clear that their leadership can be picked off one by one, which means any kind of coordinated strike against any enemy is going to be very hampered just because of poor coordination due to lack of leadership. Or will Iran's retaliation not be in the form of any military strike, but in the form of random acts of terror throughout key locations across the Western world? If the Iranian military strikes U.S. air bases, it won't be a war, it'll just be a very strong and devastating retaliation to that country. But individual lone wolf types who are not directly tied to the Iranian government can get away with doing a lot of damage and little to no consequences against Tehran. But again, we don't know how deeply the entire Iranian network has been infiltrated. Remember that time about a year ago when 2,000 electronic devices simultaneously just exploded? I want to leave you guys with a question. Let's say there is regime change in Iran and it is no longer hostile to any other country in the Middle East. What happens? I am the Geo Husar, and the United States should not support $1, one bullet, or one soldier to this conflict taking place. Thanks for watching.